Okay, welcome to the channel. My name is Arno Kampas, and today I'm going to show you how I come up with a concept. A new concept for a new idea and how I work it out up to a sketch. I use these sketches in Photoshop to actually develop the whole design, but the most critical part is actually coming up with the concept. And today's concept is actually a par 3 hole where I want to focus on getting the ability to challenge the player in different ways. Most of the holes that are designed and which you play actually favor either a draw or a fade, maybe straight, but most of the time one of them, as in particular on a par 3 course, par 3 hole, you see that one shape is actually preferred. So either you draw it or fade it, depending on whether you're a left-handed or a right-handed golfer. But what I want to do is design a hole, design a par 3, where you can actually change this requirement, this challenge. So what I'm gonna want to do is try to make sure that by placing the pin at a different location on the green, you favor a draw or a fade. Now, not everybody can actually play a draw, play a fade. Some people are natural faders of the ball and have a hard time drawing it, or some people just don't have the ability to shape the ball in any way of shape or form, or at least not consciously. So basically what I want to do is enable a player to actually use the contours of the green to play this knee shot. So to come up with this, I sort of, if you draw these arrows like draws and fades, you automatically see sort of a green that is more shaped like this, where you have to go to the left hand side of the green and to the right hand side. But since I want to be able to actually let players use the contours of the green, I also see something like this in my imagination, like a green more in the direction of play. So if you have the tee box over here, you actually see, okay, now I can use this green to actually go to those corners or to that corner. In addition, so in order to actually, you can play it through the air with a fade or draw to those spots. But if you are not that capable of hitting those shots, you want to play it straight through, and then by allowing it to be a little bit left or a little bit right, you want to let the green take the ball to those sides. So what you see here is you get a green with sort of a elephant type head shape of an elephant with ears. And Mickey Mouse would also be fitting, but then would be more over there. So I want to get this elevated, and then the slope goes down that way, slope goes down that way, the slope goes a bit upward. So if you roll it up, you have to roll it up the top and then let it go left or right. But in order to actually challenge the player from the tee, I want to focus on how can you make it challenging, how can you make it daunting to actually see this green. So what I do is I place two bunkers on either side. So if you go too early to the left or to the right, those bunkers will catch it. I want it to have the slope of the green towards those bunkers, so if it's short left and short right, it will roll into it. But I also want to use these bunkers to actually hide the view of those lower parts of the green on the sides. So that's why I'm going to add sort of a mount right behind the bunker, or place the bunker into those mounts, and have the green be behind those mounts. So from the tee you don't see those ears sort of of the green. You only see those bunkers and the straight part right in front of you. So if you sketch it out, you see a bunker another bunker, and then the green in between, like so, going up and going to the side. But you don't see it because the bunkers are pretty high, and the green goes down that side. So this is the back of the green that goes down on both sides to the side. So you can have a pin over there, or a pin over there, or just one in front, and sort of this is also going down, and you can also have the pin right in front of the. So there are multiple placements of the pin, but it's quite challenging because you either have to go left or right. But you can also make it quite easy to put them in the correct spot. Now, if you go too far, I want to have a roll off area on that side and a roll off area on that side, so that if it rolls down, it even can go further down. I don't want to have a roll off area at the back, because if you go too far that way, it shouldn't roll off the green. So I want the fairway of the fringe to stop right there, and then have rough over here. And that can go down so that you have an uphill chip towards the green, but not roll off into that area. So if you let it roll, you have the ability to actually let it stop right on the back of the green. So that's basically the idea. And this type of sketch, this type of drawing like this, I do a lot. Coming up with ideas, coming up with play lines. It is a mess, so what I do next is add a new page to this document, and with this clean shape I'm gonna try and get some scale into the design, because now I only have the challenge, the way the challenge is built up, and I want to have a way to actually incorporate it into a design of all. So what I do is first get some form of scale on the drawing. So you see here the background is sort of small squares, which I can sort of measure how long a hole is. It's basically counting 5 little squares and making a little dash, so that if I want to design a hole, I can sort of indicate how big it is in sort of a scale. So this is a par 3, where you have to shape the ball left and right. People have a hard time, I think, to hit this type of target from long ways back. So 200 meters, 200 yards out is pretty difficult for most players from the medal tees, right? We're talking medal tees, not championship tees or stuff like that. From the medal tees, it's pretty hard. But if it's too short, then it's really hard to let it actually roll, because then you come into too high. So a typical 140, 150 meters, 150, 160, 65 yards, something like that, is good. So suppose I put the center of the green over there, then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if I'm roughly here, I have 60 little squares for 150 meters, means that 10 squares are actually roughly 25 meters. So let's say that's 25 meters. Then if I put this a little bit more towards the front, it's a little bit shorter, so roughly 145 meters. Then you can have a back tee further away, a front tee, and even a really front tee for people who don't hit it that far, but still want to play the course. So you have multiple tees, but suppose that we're going from the medal tees, then you have the green over here, and I want to make it, as I said, a little bit wider, and so let's count 2, 4, 6, 8, and then would make it 16, which 4, 6, 8, something like that. This is roughly 40 meters wide, and let's make like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we make it like this, then it's roughly 30 meters deep, a little bit further down like that, and then we just sketch it out like so. So I want this to be pretty open, pretty symmetrical also, pretty square green like this, and so this is the basic shape. And then if you look at the fairway or the fringe, then you want to have some space over there. I want to have a roll-off area on the side of the green on that side as well, so something like there. Going back and have the ability to actually roll it on. So let's get rid of this little part. So I have a nice way of rolling it in, putting it in. So you see all sides of rough over here, rough over there. I see that in my imagination I see this in a sort of a parkland area, wooded area. So I see a lot of trees around the green. So this is sort of a sketch, right? So I don't need to be very precise with everything. Sort of green, a little bit of rough next to the fairway here. So if you have a little mishit to the right or to the left, you don't end up in the trees directly, but you have a little bit of rough to catch catch wayward shots. And what I didn't draw in right now is the bunkers that I wanted, right? So let me put them in, and then I would automatically see that I want the fairway to actually come up to these bunkers and be part of it. So on the other side as well, sort of make it symmetrical, and then I want this fairway as well to connect to that one. And so you see here, now I want a little bit of a zoom. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I need to have the touch enabled so that I can zoom in a bit. Come on. And somehow he won't respond anymore. And why is this? I don't know. Yeah, see, here it wants to respond. Maybe here now as well. Okay. Get the green in view. So here you see the green. Remove the touch. And you see a lot of scribbly things going on. So basically this is so make it a little bit rounder. I like it a little bit round, more round on that side as well. So I don't know, something like that. Get rid of these inner lines, and it is a sketch. So what I mentioned is I want to have the ability to actually have the middle back section elevated a bit so that it slopes downwards. Maybe this is not really. Should do it a little bit. Go back. Okay, let's do it like this. Ooh. little bit earlier so that you can actually use this slope. And as I said, I want the slope to be behind the green, so not on the green, so that you can actually have flag positions over here, like for example here or here. Details of this sloping will come in the final design. What I said is already mentioned was that I want this to be sort of a runoff area, and I wanted to have a mount over here, which would move into the bunker, and then I want a little runoff over here so that can actually move forward into false front and roll off into those bunkers, so that if you come up a little bit short and go right or left, you end up in those bunkers, and then only slightly go down here. Now, how this works out, I don't know. We need to have the mount on this side as well, going into the bunker, or the bunker is actually inside the mount or onto the mount, and we have a runoff area on this side as well. Right, so now you can, if you come up here, you can move it to the right. So we have flag positions back right, so that's challenging to roll it all the way back, but don't go too far to roll off the green. And the other one is very challenging here on the right. You can also make it a little bit easier and in symmetry on the other side. So depending on the wind, depending on the situation, depending on the player, it all works out like that. So if we zoom out, let's zoom out again, like so. We see that we have trees over here, and we need to have some more rough, so that you actually I'm not gonna draw everything because it's a sketch, right? Something like this. Now I can work it out further into a design, so I would incorporate this. I want to give it a name. For that I'm gonna use a little thicker brush and say this hole is called the elephant. It's a par 3 of roughly 143 meters. And this is the final concept. So this concept is what I forgot is actually to put some flag positions over there, right? We can have a flag position in front left, front right, so that you can play around. So this is it. The way I would go about and continue this work is to import this into Photoshop and fully make it to scale, give details to these slopes, and work it out in detail. But if you want to see that, please leave a comment and let me know. Otherwise, see you next time. Okay, bye.